actual physical elements to mental, through the fire of purification into the spiritual. So, I mean, we could go on and on and on about that stuff, but so that's what it's all about. Is about, you know, these people will speak so fluently, so masterfully, so lovingly, so soft and soothing. They invite you in. You know, they bait you. That's why it's called a honey trap. It's a honey pot. You know, that's why the honey catches more. You catch more flies. You know, you catch more worker bees, more worker slaves with honey than you do with vinegar. You know, with salty, sour, bitter, harsh truths. Gandalf is the speaker of the harsh truth. He speaks the truth. He speaks it harsh, whether you want to hear it or not. He is the wise elder, the wise sire, the wise seer, the sheer, you know, I have to show you these linguistically in order for you to really get the concept, but he is the elder, the sir, the sire, the seer, the sheer, you know, the linguistic root, these symbolic linguistic roots. I mean, he is the wise elder, the druid, the true one, the true wisdom of the forest, as I covered earlier in the etymology of my name, of Cullen. You know, the Culian, the Holly King, the Holly One, the Holy One, the holy bloodlines, the holistic, hallowed, holy, halos of the halo of the hallowed, holy halos of the hollow. You know, we could go on and on, of halos, of whole, of health of healthy means whole, which means holy, which to be holy is to be healthy, is to be whole, is to be hallowed, is to have the halo, to have the crown, to ascend, you know, to don the wise cap, the wizard, the wise one, the wizard. The Gandalf is the grand elf, the Ganda Alf, the Ganda, which, you know, the wise one, the Ganda, the the Alf, the Aelf. The Gandalf literally means divining sage. It means divining elf. And this is why, again, Tolkien was the esoteric master. He was so masterful in his linguistics and in his symbolism and his archetypal mythology. I mean, just absolute master. You know, Gandalf, the druid, the Dumbledore, the Yoda. He is the master, the sir. This, you know, let's pull this up. Nice. Why nice guys finish last? Why nice people are nescient, and from neshir, not knowing, foolish, careless, stupid, you know, ignorant. They are the. Let me check, side check real quick to make sure that no one has left any super chats that I might be missing out on. I don't think so. So I don't think I'm missing anyone. Yeah, still, okay, Sandman, still, thank you, Sandman, appreciate that. Okay, so I haven't missed anyone, that's good. Okay, let me switch back to the nice. Most of you guys know what I'm talking about. I've shared this, you know, countless times in countless ways, but you know, the nescience, the ignorant, the fool who begins his journey, the fool who embarks on his journey not knowing any better. He is, you know, he's the new one, he's the Neo, he's the green one, he's the greenhorn, he's the green man. You know, so again, the etymology of my name, of Cullen, the green man, the green one. Let me show you this real quick, just, you know, since I've just been working on that. By the way, if you're not on, you know, a subscriber on my Patreon page, I am seriously considering, guys, I'm seriously considering making all of my Patreon content exclusive to patrons, because you know what, you know, if you want to support me for $1, you know, a month, I think most people can handle that for this amount of, for the amount of staggering information that I put out for you guys to, you know, to enjoy. I mean, it's not too much to, okay, where did I put that? Oh, it's in drafts. I haven't finished it yet. Okay, but the green one, the green man, the Neo, the neophyte, you know, the initiate, the Damn it, my internet connection is so slow. I apologize, guys. It's so slow. So slow. So slow. Yeah, okay. The onomancy of my name, the green one, the green man, the holly king, the wise druid, the druvid, the David, the Druidic, Druish order, the ancient Dravidians, you know, the Jewish order, the ancient Semitic order, you know, the Semitic Phoenician Druidic order, the forest, the order of the forest, you know, I apologize for my stuttering. It's, my thoughts are all over the place because I'm trying to manage the live stream as well as, you know, if I wanted to present this in a good way, I would literally just lay down, close my eyes, and just speak. That's why I like doing radio shows, is because, you know, especially if it's not a visual stream, is I can just lay down and show and literally just go through the thoughts in my mind, and it's so much clearer. But since I'm trying to, I suck at multitasking. I'm so bad at multitasking. You know, that's why it's so hard to maintain a smooth train of thought while trying to manage all the content so that it's, you know, both entertaining and informative. And but yeah, so you get it. I mean, I've covered this in countless articles, in Druids, Dryads, Nymphs and Nymphomaniacs, the Tree of Life. This is a core aspect of most of my work, is, you know, relating back to all the deep, rich symbolism of nature and all of that. But yeah, so let's go back to the future. But yeah, so the wise sire, the wise one, you know, the Gandalf, the grand elf, the grand elder, you know, the wise one, the master, you know, he's the one, he's the sire, the senior, the one who knows things. He has the knowledge of experience, the wisdom. And the noob, the neophyte, the green one, you know, what else? The grunt, the initiate, the one who gets picked on, who gets beaten up, who gets his ass handed to him, who gets whipped, who gets, you know, beaten into submission. This is why the elder, the mentor, the mentor is the one who torments us. He's the one who whips our ass. He serves us our ass whippings in order to teach us the lessons, the ways of the wise sire, of the wise sheer, of the seer. The sheer seer, the knowledge, seer means to know. The sheer seer of the seer, of the one who knows. And the one who knows not is the neophyte, the initiate, the fool, embarking upon his journey, who does not yet know. So the archetype, the tarot archetype of the fool, is both the noob, is both the neophyte, the initiate, as well as the master. He is the first and the last. He is the alpha and the omega. He is the beginning of the journey of gnosis, of self-knowledge, of self-discovery. And he is the return of, it's all about the hero's journey. You know, it's all Joseph Campbell. You know, it is all the hero's journey. Joseph Campbell just absolutely dominated the universal principle. I mean, once you know it all. I mean, period. Simple as that. That's why. But what I love about it so much is that you can cover all of this stuff endlessly. Is that once I've learned all these pieces, largely thanks to my mentor, you know, Christopher, you know, Truth Heresy, largely thanks to him, you know, that's where I really, you know, just dove in, you know, tooth and nail into all of this stuff. And realized I discovered something within myself that had been, you know, I guess lying dormant, like a seed lying in the earth through the cold winter, you know, until the spring dawns, and then the seed finally sprouts, and the dawn of consciousness, the dawn of the sun, finally begins to bring the light of enlightenment out. And so it began to, you know, the seed of consciousness began to spring forth within me. And so, you know, that's what it's all about. You know, it's the hero's journey. You know, it's the journey of the tarot, the archetype of, you know, I haven't, unfortunately, I haven't actually watched Michael Tazarian's Path of the Fool series. I've watched what I could here and there. Honestly, I just haven't had time. But yeah, it's the Path of the Fool, you know, so I feel like I have to throw that in there because I can't talk about the Path of the Fool. See, now I feel like I'm constantly looking over my shoulder for, you know, who's watching me to make sure I don't like rip off someone's work, and I'm not trying to do any of that, so I feel like I have to, you know, constantly look over my shoulder to, you know, to make sure to include everyone as a reference, you know, in reference, you know, so that I don't overlook anyone. I feel like I constantly, like, I'll have to reference every single person throughout history to ever just to even speak about something, or else, you know, it's copyright infringement or something like that. Not that I'm saying I'm doing any of that, but just I feel like the need that even if I speak about the Path of the Fool of the tarot, or about archetypal mythology or symbolism or any of that, that I feel like I have to, you know, reference other people who have come before me, specifically for the fact that, you know, I feel like you know, I don't want to feel like I owe everyone something, but, you know, I don't owe anyone anything, you know, so I need to let all that stuff go, but, you know, so I do the best I can, but, you know, so I'll include references when I actually cite someone's work, but, you know, unfortunately, I haven't had time to get deep into as many of these, you know, my fellow researchers and great, you know, great people that I would like to. Unfortunately, I don't have time to read books, you know. It's too much, there's so much knowledge in so little time, you know, it's so hard. I'm struggling with so much that I want to produce, let alone, you know, wanting to sit back and just literally just to take time to absorb information once again. You know, I started off this path by literally having the fortunate circumstance to be able to, you know, I quit my day job, took 2 years off, literally just did nothing but study 24/7 all day long. Usually spent time outside, just laying out in the sun, absorbing the energy of nature in every way that I could, taking it in through, you know, through my eyes, through the natural sunlight. I don't ever wear sunglasses, always take the UV spectrum, the full spectrum of light through your eyes, not directly looking at the sun, but, you know, if you're going to sun gaze when it's on the horizon, when it's level on the horizon, an hour before or after sunset. But side tangent, side note. But yeah, so I was blessed, you know, fortunate with this circumstance to be able to sit and just literally to read anything and everything that I wanted to. But, you know, I don't have that luxury anymore, you know, especially not with, you know, I have some work to contribute of my own. So I want to do that. I want to build a platform that supports my fellow researchers as well. You know, when I get the website up, that's the only reason I haven't, is because it's going to take so much time out of the channel and what I'm already doing with writing, you know, presentations day in and day out, you know, spending months on the full film presentations. And so that's why I haven't done the website yet, but I need to, you know, stop procrastinating, stop putting things off, and do that first and foremost, because if I do the website, then that supports every other thing that I do from that point on. You know, it supports, like if I publish an article or a presentation or something, that way it can go viral from the website. That supports me from there. And I plan to have all my other friends, you know, I plan to have a Truthersy page on my website. I plan to have, you know, an OpThink radio page for my friends Stefan and Christina, their radio show on my website. You know, for, you know, I want to collaborate with alien scientists. I want to collaborate with, you know, my homie Jason Verbelli, doing Searle magnetics and free energy systemic technologies that we can release all this, you know, building an actual movement, not just something that you take home for yourself, but something that actually supports this greater movement, to make it something bigger than just that's what I want. Is the only reason I want this stuff to be so impactful and so helpful for everyone, is so that it can actually unify us to create some sort of a movement, because so many movements fail. You know, and the reason why movements fail is because of money and monetary issues. It's usually disputes between colleagues and disputes between, you know, I don't even know where am I going with this? But yeah, I don't know. It's good that I finally have something to just sit and rant on, because, you know, we can go on and on about it. And if you guys are willing to, you know, to listen, thank you. Thank you for being willing to support and listening to my to what I have to say. It's usually I don't say anything if I don't have anything to say. I feel that's the problem. One of the main problems in our world today, especially with social media culture and cult of personality, is everybody just has to say, the fool speaks because he has to say something. The wise one speaks when he has something to say. And the true wisdom comes through saying nothing at all, through the language of silence. And the more, where I was going with that is, I was fortunate to have that 2 years off. To basically, that's when I found myself. I cultivated myself. That's when I, really got into I was full on into the New Age stuff. I was full on a New Ager, and honestly, I look back and I'm pretty embarrassed. But people loved it. And it's funny. These things are funny. Is that I wasn't really credible at all. I mean, I was. I still put out credible information and stuff, but I was much, my mind was far too open. I was too, what happened is, consciousness comes in ebbs and flows. Everything in the universal principle ebbs and flows. It ins and outs, it involves and it evolves. That's just how things go. And so what happens is when you first awaken to something that you were heretofore unknowing of or unaware of, what happens is it literally blows your mind. That's what I hope my channel does for you guys. That's what I hope my presentations and my information does for you guys, is I hope it literally blows. So what happens is it's all about neuroplasticity. It's about the pathways that the neurons take, which are literally highways of information. There's all the traffic will be congested into these mega super highways. But if you start taking the side roads, the roads less traveled through the path up the spiritual mountain, up the holy mountain, to the Axis Mundi. If you start bushwhacking your own trail, the path less traveled, the path that is hard, it is arduous. It will never be easy, but it will always be worth it. That path less traveled is if you take that path, that's when you'll start to, first it blows your mind open to where you start to fall into every sort of conspiracy on the face of the planet. You start thinking that pyramids are a Masonic hoax, only 100 years old. You start thinking the earth is flat because you have no friends who are actual professional pilots. You don't know, I'm not trying to offend any of you. I'm just stating the facts. You fall into these things because you don't have people keeping you in check. You don't have a lot of friends that you can, especially, look, I'm not trying to be condescending to anyone, but let's be real here, guys. I'm trying to help you out. That's what this channel is. We're being real. We're getting to the truth, the real truth, not bullshit, not, excuse my French, not BS, not lies, none of that. What happens is, I go to all of your pages. I go to your pages and I check out. I like to study people. I like to study what makes people tick. Why do people follow certain trends? Why do people, join certain groups? Why do they behave the way they do? I love to study. I love to observe. I observe everything that I can. I mean, I just always have been. Always asked. Ever since I was a kid, I've always asked why. Why? That's the only thing I wanted to know. I didn't really want to know what, how, who, where, or when. I wanted to know why. And we all go through that phase around, during our developmental psychology, around roughly 4 to 5 years old is when we start asking our parents, why? We do it as a nag, and our parents just, brush us off. Oh, I don't know, shut up already. After they'll lead us on after the first couple times, then after a couple times they'll start just, trying to get us to stop, because the answer is they don't know why. But damn it, went off on a tangent. Now I forget where the train was going to. Oh yeah. So I go and so I study these things. I like to see what makes people tick. So for you guys falling into a lot of these, what I call, I don't want to call it, but as a, joking around, like say we're in it's locker room talk. We're talking about what I call conspirafried. You literally have seen so many conspiracies that you start falling into all these things like transvestigation, and and especially the worst one is the blood over intent cult. You know, Devin Maggi and Quasi-Luminous and these fools, these clowns. I don't want to, not attacking anyone's character, but seriously, absolute clowns. I can't believe this stuff. And people were just swallowing it up. Just give me more. Yeah, to quote Santos, more bullshit. Give me some more of that bullshit. I shouldn't even be saying that because I don't want to demonetize this. Keep it family friendly. But seriously, people swallow this stuff up. Why? Because it's sensational. It feeds into your curiosity. It's what you want to hear. It tells you that there is a greater reality. One thing that really pisses me off is truth is stranger than fiction. Did you know that, guys? Truth is stranger than fiction. How many times have you heard that one? How many channels, how many books, how many, catchphrases do you hear trying to sell you something for ad revenue, for clicks, for hits, for likes, for whatever? Truth is not stranger than fiction, folks. It's not. I can literally sit here. I can make up something ridiculous. I can make up anything that I can possibly imagine. The fact that we can imagine things, yes, we draw from influence from an etheric, from a mental, a realm of mind that it draws from certain things, but yes, so in that sense, yes, it has some sort of, it draws from something. It draws from the creative mind space, which the collective mind of the human race is, as well as all species on Earth itself, is found in the ionosphere, is resonant to the same alpha or the brainwaves, all spectrum of the brainwaves of the human brain, as well as all life on Earth is resonant to the Schumann resonance to the ionosphere itself of the Earth, which is basically, it's the collective mind of this Earth, which connects electrically through the Birkeland currents to the other planets in the solar system, through the sun, which is our spiritual sun, which is, Helios, to the mother of the sun, to Sirius. This is how all things are connected. There are literal, Thunderbolts Project just came out with all this stuff. Is, massive Birkeland currents. Mainstream science finally just came out and openly admitted that there are giant, massive magnetic ropes connecting the sun to the North Pole, the polar vortex, the hexagonal vortex on Saturn. Gee, what a coincidence. So there's your Saturn-Moon matrix, folks. It's not a literal, David Icke type thing. I understand where he's going with that, and it is true in a sense, in sort of an allegorical sense, but it's not an actual literal, you are trapped in an artificial algorithm matrix right now. It's going to be that, maybe, who knows, maybe it was like that, and maybe some type of singularity happened, and transcendence happened, divine convergence. Terence McKenna called it the great attractor at the, we have the eros and the eschaton, which is the, the origin and the completion, the alpha and the omega. But perhaps somewhere along the way, as all things are fractal evolution, meaning that things go and they continue infinitely within themselves. They either expand infinitely within themselves while simultaneously expanding around themselves. So it's a constant. It's hard to describe this without my visuals. So that's why I do the films, is because I can put it right in your face. I can drop it on you. But yeah, so it's basically, it's all torus dynamic. But so within the torus dynamic, you have what is inside the torus dynamic, which is what we could call our universe as we know it, is existing inside the torus. On the actual, if you look at a cross section of the torus, inside the donut, here's the toroidal flow. I could show you a visual, but I'm pretty good with my hands, so we can do it that way. So visual energy of the torus, if you look at it cross sectionally, so you've got your two donuts, your Vesca Pisces, this is what's called the horn torus. It's, sorry, let me adjust my fingers there. Called the horn torus, or sorry, forgive me. That's called the spindle torus. So the spindle torus is So let's say, okay, restart. So we exist within the energy inside of the toroidal donut, but there exists a counterspatial infinite sea, an infinite, what the Gnostics call the pleroma, or what could be thought of as the plenum of infinite potential, of infinite energy that exists everywhere outside of that. So you know, the donut hole, or the eso, is that which is removed from the core structure of the donut. So you have the donut hole, you have the donut itself. As energy passes through the core of the donut, you know, that's the counterspatial 0 point. It passes through the counter space, it converges upon itself, and it pops into this realm of existence that we are in, into what we know of as existence, as space. So this is, you know, and I'm not an actual electrical engineer, so people like Ken Wheeler can more accurately describe this stuff, which I just talked to my friend Jason Verbelli earlier, just before I started the live stream, and asked him if I could get a hold of Ken Wheeler, Theoria Apophysis on YouTube, because as I just showed, was my most recent film covers, not my most recent film, but my most recent upload is about Sanskrit. So I've been looking into Sanskrit linguistic roots and things like that, and it's extremely interesting and extremely deep science is how it goes into. But so anyways, I'm getting off topic. But so anyways, Ken Wheeler he can translate, he understands and can translate ancient Greek as well as ancient Prakrit. So I was wanting to, you know, see if I could get a hold of him to, you know, speak about the science of artificial technology and how Sanskrit is considered by NASA scientists to be the most perfect or the most pure language referring to or regarding to artificial intelligence algorithms, for the sake of being the most pure language, because it does not, it's the most descriptive. It is the least ambiguous, meaning there is the least room for open interpretation of the terms and of the actual semantics, the syntax of the language. And so I thought it would be a huge, really interesting conversation if I could get a hold of Ken Wheeler and, you know, talk about that with him. And, you know, I could basically just listen to him ramble on and on and on and on about the deep technical jargon that he likes to use to explain these free energy and terms of magnetism and the science of light, which is great. But, you know, there are much easier ways and much simpler ways to describe all of that stuff. But I forget where I was going with this. I totally lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, objectivism and subjectivism. And so I like to study I like to look at you guys' pages and see what happens, why people, you know, start believing so much in things that are just really have no basis and are flat out disinformation, are flat out wrong, not only are they just honest a lot of people, most people are just honest repeaters of information. You know, they hear something that blows their mind, because during the path of awakening, you first awaken to something so much greater than yourself. It's huge. You know, you can't even put your finger on it. You can't even figure out how to describe it. It's huge. It blows your mind. Blows your mind wide open. So what that does is that triggers the neuroplasticity of your brain to be able to it starts to rewire itself. And this goes into teachability and learnability, I guess. But the teachability, the ability to be open to new information, but also to not be so open that your brain falls out. So, you know, so that you're still so it's Mark Passio presents this brilliantly, so well, you know, so accurately. I don't want to feel like I have to constantly, you know, whatever. But so he talks about it brilliantly as the balance between the hemispheres of the brain.